तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना जमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe. Jai Ghora Nitai, Gaur Nitai, Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन भगवान की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरण आनंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shishi, Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 16, text number 23. How do you all do? You just repeat or I just chant the sloka and go? You all, I can read and proceed. Yashastra vidim usrijya vartate kamakarata nasa siddhim avapnoti nasukam naparam gathim. So, word by word meaning, anyone who Shastra vidim, the regulations of the scriptures. Utsrijya, giving up, vartate, remains, kama karataha, acting whimsically in lust, na, never, sa, he, siddhim, perfection, avapnoti, achieves, na, never, sukham, happiness, na, never, param, the supreme, gatim, perfectional stage. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Purport: As described before, the Shastra Vidhi, or the direction of the Shastra, is given to the different castes and orders of human society. Everyone is expected to follow these rules and regulations. If one does not follow them and acts whimsically according to his lust, greed, and desire, then he will never be perfect in his life. In other words, a man may theoretically know all these things, but if he does not apply them in his own life, then he is to be known as the lowest of mankind. In the human form of life, a living entity is expected to be sane and to follow the regulations given for elevating his life to the highest platform. But if he does not follow them, then he degrades himself. But even if he follows the rules and regulations and moral principles and ultimately does not come to the stage of understanding the Supreme Lord, then all his knowledge becomes spoiled. And even if he accepts the existence of God, if he does not engage himself in the service of the Lord, his attempts are spoiled. Therefore, one should gradually raise himself to the platform of Krishna consciousness and devotional service. It is then and there that he can attain the highest perfectional stage, not otherwise. The word kamakarataha is very significant. A person who knowingly violates the rules acts in lust. He knows that this is forbidden, but still he acts. This is called acting whimsically. He knows that this should be done, but he still does not do it. Therefore, he is called whimsical. Such persons are destined to be condemned by the Supreme Lord. Such persons cannot have the perfection which is meant for the human life. The human life is especially meant for purifying one's existence, and one who does not follow the rules and regulations cannot purify himself, nor can he attain the real stage of happiness. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, text number 23. So this is the chapter with the title the divine and demoniac nature. First of all, thank you so much for being part of this Sangha, and it's an honor to be with you all and in ISKCON of Silicon Valley. In the next 1 hour or so, let's see what Krishna has said about the purpose of human form of life. Bhagavad Gita is the manual for humanity. If at all a person wants to know how to lead his life, he can just go through the instructions given by the Supreme Lord to Arjuna and apply them in his life. Then he can be very successful in his life. So, Prabhupada has given wonderful purports for us to contemplate on them and eventually make it to the Supreme Lord at the end of this life. This particular chapter is describing about divine and demoniac nature and how each and every one of us need to elevate our consciousness from demoniac nature to a divine nature and eventually make it to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada explains in the purport that it is imperative that we all try to understand about the Supreme Lord, and even if you understand, it is not sufficient enough till you participate in the service of the Lord. In Mahabharata, there is a very nice shloka. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunamscha samanyametat pasubir naranam dharmo hitesham adiko viseshaha dharme nahina pasubir samana. So it is explained that ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna, eating, sleeping, mating and defending are four common activities between animals and human beings. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko viseshaha dharmena hina pasubir samana. Pasubir samana. So if a person is a human being and if he does not inquire about dharma, does not inquire about higher principles, does not elevate his consciousness from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness, we are just an organized animals. We are not yet operating on the platform of human beings. So Prabhupada explains in this chapter how we need to get rid of the demoniac nature. Just 2 verses before, he is explaining what are the 3 royal roads to hell. The 3 royal roads to hell are lust, greed, and anger. And whilst explaining that, this particular shloka is explaining that we are all supposed to follow some rules and regulations. Let us understand that we are all, as practitioners of Krishna consciousness, we are all putting our endeavor in being a devotee. But what happens is that in the process of a dichotomy between our materialistic desires versus our spiritual understanding, we always tossed between these 2 natures. When we are in the association of devotees, when we are in the temple, when we are doing some service, we are saner. But when we come in contact, just step outside the temple and come in contact with our mobile phone and our outside contacts, all our hidden unwanted things pops out and devour our consciousness. So technically speaking, those who come in contact with Krishna, those who come in contact with Bhagavad Gita, those who come in contact with this process of Krishna consciousness, till he attains perfection, he is having a big fight within himself. What is to be done? Should I do this or should I do this? And we have 2 clear-cut situations in life. When we are with devotees, we are different. When we are not with the Sangha of the devotees, we are completely different. So we will definitely need to elevate ourselves and somehow put ourselves in this devotee Sangha or devotional consciousness, for which we need to do a constant endeavor. So today we will discuss 6 tests that we will put upon ourselves to check if we are towards Krishna or if we are away from Krishna. This is a self-test. You're all technology people. We call power on self-test. When you boot a device, it tests for itself if it is in the right state or not. Similarly, when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada explains in this purport that what is key is applying what you heard, what you came in contact in your own life every day. So when we are applying Krishna consciousness in our life every day, we should also know if our application is successful, if we made some progress, if there is a transformation. Otherwise, we will be thinking we are a devotee, but we will be going in completely opposite direction. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is considered as a postgraduate study of Krishna consciousness, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains a very nice point. He says, a practitioner's heart has got 2 saplings. One is a sapling of bhakti, another one is a sapling of lookalike bhakti. So in our heart, when we are practicing devotional life, there is a small creeper or a small sapling that comes out because of our chanting, because of our reading, because of our association with devotees. This sapling comes out and we develop some hope in devotional life. But because we are not completely purified, there is another sapling comes just next to the Bhakti Latha, which is looking like a Bhakti Latha, but is actually a weed. So it's called, look-alike. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that unless a person is extremely careful, or unless somebody is under the extreme good guidance of a self-realized soul, in the process of growing our devotional creeper, we might misunderstand the actual creeper as a weed and weed as an actual creeper. Which means sometimes we start to think that I am a very nice devotee whilst I have my own vices still not completely cleansed. I may start to misunderstand a person who is so-called devotee as a nice person and very nice person as a so-called devotee. We start to misinterpret goodness to illusion, illusion to goodness. We start to misunderstand many things like that. So it is imperative that we need to constantly put ourselves through some evaluation, through some introspection, through some questions to our own selves, tests to our own selves, to see if we are actually progressing or not. The reason this is also important is, number 1, human beings have higher intelligence. Number 2, we have been bestowed with very, very special opportunity which otherwise is very difficult. And last but not least, we are in the most conducive phase of our life for us to work upon ourselves. All of us in this room, we are all adults and we have our own experiences in life, both positives and negatives. So our own experience is good enough for us to put ourselves through some test. That will help us to apply what we are hearing. As Prabhupada explains in the purport, it is not enough if you knew Krishna. It is not enough if you're trying to be sane. Till the point in time you are actually applying yourself in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By default, this material world is actually a quicksand. The reason it is called quicksand is that in a quicksand, if you put your legs, both the legs, it just takes you in. There is no way somebody put their legs in the quicksand can help themselves but for doing only one thing, which is raising both the hands up and wave. Hey, can somebody help? Can somebody help? Can somebody help? And only when you wave like this and scream that I'm drowning, please come forward and help, you will go inside the quicksand. So Bilvamangala Thakura is explaining that Samsara Kupe Patitotyagade Mohanda Purne Vishayabhitapte Karavalambam Mamadehi Vishnu Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. He says, Samsara Kupe Patitotya Gade. He says this samsara, this material world, is like a well, dark well. And this well is full of Mohanda Purne Vishayabhitapte. This is predominated with lust, greed, anger, illusion, pride, ego. If somebody falls inside this well, if somebody accidentally, voluntarily, however you fall inside this well, then what is the only solution? He says, Karavalambam Mamadehi Vishnu. You raise both the hands up and shout what? Hey Krishna, hey Narayana, hey Parandama, please come and lift me up. I can't lift myself up. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So, henceforth, whenever we are dancing in the kirtan, singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we raise our hands up, it is not some fashion. It is not some, trend that we said that, when we dance, we just raise our hands up. This has got a meaning. What is the meaning? Karavalambam Mamadehi Vishnu. Actually, I am drowning, my dear Lord. I am in a dichotomy. Somebody is pulling me down. My mind is taking me away from you. And I am not sure if I am in the right path. And I can't decide for myself. So what is an option that I have? I just surrender. How do I surrender? With both my hands up and say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So any time from now on, when you chant and dance and raise your hands up, what do you remember? That we are drowning, we are asking for help, waving help, so that Krishna can come and pull us, or Krishna can somebody pull us. So the first test, hence, in our progressive path of Krishna consciousness, in our endeavor to become a devotee, that we need to put upon ourselves is how much we are attached and attentive and conscious when we are chanting the holy name of the Lord. This is something we must have heard zillion times. Attentive chanting, important, various things. But when you put yourself to a test, and this test is a voluntary test, you are not under anybody's scanner, but for Paramatma. 2 eyes are always watching us. Sachinandan Maharaj once told, if you ever want to help yourself better from the current situation, put in front of your desk in your private study room or reading room or whatever room that 2 eyes are always watching you. Generally, we do not want to do sense gratification, especially some secret sense gratification in front of everybody. If somebody is watching us, we are conscious. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshu Arjuna tishtati. Krishna sitting as Paramatma and watching every movement of ours. So it is imperative that we need to put ourselves to some conscious testing. So attentive, attachment and conscious chanting. Are we doing or not doing is our own test that we do. So this is the first evaluation that we do upon ourselves. Hanumat Prashek Maharaj used to always say that these 8 words will help you to chant the 16 syllable, which can help you to deliver yourself from the cycle of birth and death. What are the 8 words? You get up early morning, finish your morning japa. These are the 8 words. So this, you get up early morning, finish your morning japa. So this helps, these 8 words. This is something that we have heard. But when we are preparing for our examination, especially the last 1 hour before, I'm not sure, over here you all might be pretty organized. Back in India, half of the preparation, 90% of the preparation, you get to study so many concepts, you will get to understand the last half an hour of our examination just before getting into the room. We'll get to know everything. So, I mean, in my personal experience, how much ever you study, what you understand in the last half an hour just before entering the examination hall, you would have never understood in the entire life, in the entire course of your study. So, what is the last half an hour for us? Which is the last half an hour? Which is the last 15 minutes? Which is the last 5 minutes for us? We can't say. Hence, we need to somehow or other put ourselves to this test. This is the first test. The second, it's very interesting that this whole Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or all the Vedic literature, they exist. Or they are there not because of the speaker. They exist because of the student. Krishna would have not spoken Bhagavad Gita had Arjuna not asked questions. Sukadeva Goswami would have stopped Bhagavatam long time back if Parikshit Maharaj had not asked questions. Or anybody for that matter would have not got opportunity to hear these wonderful subject matter of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam if the student is not inquisitive. So, Krishna would have spoken Bhagavad Gita in various different occasions. But he did not speak on those occasions. He waited for Arjuna to ask relevant question with proper consciousness. These two are very important. Not only relevant questions, in proper consciousness. So the second test that we put upon ourselves, are we applying Krishna consciousness? Are we following rules and regulations? Are we serious in executing Krishna consciousness? Am I interested in becoming a devotee of the Lord? So the second test is, we should get questions. If somebody is in Krishna consciousness for 15 years, he never had any doubts. He never asked any questions. He never felt like clarifying certain things. There is something seriously wrong. Because you get to ask questions, or you get questions within you when you start applying. Like suppose you want to apply for a visa. Suppose you want to apply for a course. Suppose you want to apply for something. Or if you want to find out about your prospective groom or bride, you get a lot of questions. So many questions that come upon logically, and we tend to clarify them. So, a test that we should put upon ourselves is, am I just becoming sentimental in my practice of Krishna consciousness, or am I really serious in my practice of Krishna consciousness? You can do that. But how many questions that you have? Relevant questions. If we have questions, it's a symptom of progressing. It's a symptom of a student. It's a symptom of that you are inquisitive and interested in the process of Krishna consciousness. You may not ask because of the forum, because of shyness, because of 1,000 reasons, but at least you should have questions. Why? Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Why is it like this? And entire Bhagavatam, entire Bhagavad Gita, they are there because Parikshit Maharaj and Arjuna asked relevant questions with right consciousness. And Krishna is very happy. Neither Krishna wants to give something just like that. It would have been very easy for Krishna to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, finished. Give instructions and moved on. Or even if Krishna had shown his universal form, when Arjuna decided that, my dear Lord, I want to go to forest and be a Brahmana, doesn't want to fight. Krishna would have got easily solved this problem and shown a universal form. Hey, you know what? I'm God. Better fight. Otherwise, I'll settle this course like this. Go and fight. I'm God. What you would have done? Krishna did not want to do it. And when Krishna is going on telling something, Arjuna also is not accepting things blindly. He is questioning Krishna. Oh, you may be Krishna. You may be God. But still clarify these things. This is a very important test that to tell ourselves. If you have never had any questions, nothing, no questions, does not mean you are obedient. It means we may be stupid or we may be lazy. So second important test that we put upon ourselves to see if I am applying Krishna consciousness. We are all coming to this Sangha, we are all coming to this temple not just to demand something from God. It is also to commit ourselves to the Supreme Lord. So we need to know that questions, having relevant questions in a right consciousness is a second test that we put upon ourselves for us to know where do we stand. If you have not got any questions so far, never mind, please go and think. What did I hear? Shall I try to apply? When I try to apply, I have 1,000 questions like that. Oh, I was asked to chant, how am I supposed to hold the bead? I was asked to chant, how am I supposed to control the mind? I was asked to chant, like so many questions. One girl went to Srila Prabhupada. So she said that Srila Prabhupada, your chanting is so nice. The chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra process that you have given is so nice that whenever I chant, a red rays that come in front of my eyes. Srila Prabhupada smilingly said, very nice, keep chanting, that will also go away. So sometimes, even when we may have something stupid, something we may amateurishly think, but when you state it, when you speak about it, when you clarify about it, you know where do you stand. Once Srila Prabhupada was addressing a group of a very big gathering in Mathura. So when he was addressing a big gathering, so he said, the practitioners of Krishna consciousness movement are so nice. So there were so many foreign, Western devotees who were standing behind Prabhupada. It's a very big forum. So Prabhupada was sitting in the Vyasasana, and they were this side and this side. Good number of white-bodied Western devotees. They were sitting there. So Srila Prabhupada was very proudly claiming that, you see these people, they're all so much into Krishna consciousness. Even if you give them $10,000 and allure them, they will not get allured. So all the people sitting there, they were very happy, and they started to smile, they started to beam. Wow, Prabhupada is appreciating us. Then as soon as Prabhupada finished stating it, he turned towards them and said that, don't be so happy, nobody has yet offered you $10,000. So the point is that Prabhupada always encourages us to put through some test so that we know where do we stand. So the second test that we put upon ourselves to know are we applying Krishna consciousness or not is if we get questions within ourselves. The third, Utsahad nischayat dhairyat tattat karma pravartana sangatyagat satavrite sadbir bhaktir prasiddhyati. And the first of that is enthusiasm. Actually, somebody is practicing Krishna consciousness. You can only inspire them, you can only educate them, you can only direct them. But doing it is to be done by the self. So many times we are eager and interested in doing Krishna consciousness for some external attractions. Oh, we have a wonderful feast. We have got a very nice outing. We have got fantastic music. We have some intellectual discussions. It's all fine. You can be enthusiastic about it. But the point of enthusiasm that we are speaking about here is an internal enthusiasm to practice what I have learned. That's a third test. How much you are enthusiastic from within. How do you say enthusiastic from within? When nobody is asking for you, when nobody is, there is no special event, but still you wish to participate, to actively get involved in the service of the Lord, even though there are no specific reasons. Fine, we can begin our Krishna consciousness by some external enthusiasm, but external enthusiasm is a look-alike bhakti, but not the real bhakti. The real bhakti comes from enthusiasm from within. You cannot control yourself in becoming a devotee. You will constantly think about Krishna. No resources shortage, no limitations in the family, no limitations in your health, no limitations in your wealth, no external criteria will stop you. Because this enthusiasm is from within. You will constantly, that thinking about how am I going to serve the Lord is going to be so intense that the thought itself will make you a devotee. The thought itself will make you progress in devotional life and kill all the other vices. So the third test that we check upon ourselves, how much enthusiastic I am in this process of Krishna consciousness. And this enthusiasm is not an external one. This enthusiasm is an internal. How much I long, how much I yearn, how much I desire, how much I look forward for being part of this. Many times, or that's a trend in this world, that we are all very good in our presentation, in our external aspects, but very less people are internalized. Very less people, they reflect within themselves. We tend to cover, if you receive a guest to your house, you keep the house looking clean. When you go somewhere else, you put yourself nice garments so that you look beautiful. When you speak, when you do conduct certain things, you make sure that your presentation is nice. But Krishna consciousness, devotional life is nothing about external. How much are you a devotee from within? How much are you reflecting within yourself? How much are you internalizing your devotional emotions. Externally, you may be whomever you are. That is why Krishna does not take any consideration on your dress or address. Krishna takes consideration only on your consciousness. Your address may be somewhere else in the material world, out there in the middle of Las Vegas. But if your consciousness is towards deeply connected with Krishna, enthusiastic towards serving the Lord, then we are in the right track. Even if we are in the altar, even if we are doing Arati to Radha Madan Mohanji, if we are thinking, you know what? This garland that Srimati Radharani is wearing, maine banaya. That's something that I made. You know this garment that Krishna is wearing, I stitched. I didn't do that, but if you think like that, the bhoga that is offering, so if you see Krishna, do you see Krishna in Krishna or do you see yourself in Krishna? And lot more times, we tend to see ourselves in Krishna. We tend to see that whatever I offered, did it go to Krishna or not? I mean, this is the Kanishta mentality. This is okay. It is better than not coming in front of Krishna. But what is important is that how long we will satisfy ourselves saying that, okay, I'm there. We need to somewhere put ourselves to a test to move forward. Move to the next stage. Move to the next phase of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, this human form of life, which is so rare and so important, and the surroundings and environment that Krishna has given us, will be wasted. So the third test that we do is put upon ourselves is that how much we are enthusiastic from within. How much our consciousness is constantly thinking about Krishna. Prabhupada explains in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita that it is like how a girl, after she got married, still she is not able to forget about her lover. So she has a paramar, she has a relationship with her boyfriend even after marriage. So Prabhupada explains that sometimes we are not able to execute Krishna consciousness because of our material commitments. So Prabhupada explains that the way we are supposed to do it, how a girl who is having a lover outside of the marriage, make sure she does first class service to her husband, so that the husband does not have any doubt upon her, and take care of her husband, and once he is out, she comes and attends to her lover. Similarly, whilst we take care of all our conditional responsibilities, job, family, health, we should make sure that we constantly internalize our thinking and our association with the Supreme Lord. So now we chanted well. We also had some questions so that we improve upon our understanding. We became enthusiastic. Then what? Just being enthusiastic doesn't go anywhere unless that enthusiasm culminates in a service attitude and participating in the service of the Lord. So when we say service attitude, it is explicitly said that one's attachment towards a particular service to Krishna, so that this service that I am doing for my own purification to please the Lord. That service could be a very simple, very easy, and even it means 10 minutes a day. But how much I am attached to my service and enthusiastic in doing so. As I said, our material education makes us very nicely an external person. We put up very nice show, but our spiritual education makes us very nice as an internal person. Krishna has got a very nice spectacles. Krishna bhi chasma wale hai. What does Krishna see? Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna sees what is your mood, what is your attitude, what is your emotion, what is your attachment, and Krishna only sees our internal things. Krishna does not see anything external. So the fourth test that we put upon ourselves, how much I have developed attachment for my service. If my senior devotees in the temple have given me a service to distribute books, to do deity worship, to do cooking, to do anything for that matter, how much I yearn to do this, how much I am attached to this, and how much I would like to, not give that up at any cost. There was a person by name Koresh. So he was given a service by his spiritual master to make a pond, make a lake near Tirupati Balaji. I think it's Koresh or somebody else. Anantacharya, thank you. So, spiritual master told him that you please go and make a pushkarani. If you go to any temple, any tirthasthala, you'll always see some pushkarani, some pond or lake where the deity's abhishek water is being fetched. So Anantacharya and his wife was asked to construct a pushkarani, and they were in the process of doing. Anantacharya's wife was pregnant at that time. So what happened is that every day, Anantacharya and his wife in the morning till evening, they used to work hard. So Anantacharya used to dig the pond, and the sand that gets collected, he used to give it to his wife to go and put it away. So this lady, she was pregnant and she was trying very hard. One day a small boy, 8-9-year-old boy, he came to Anantacharya and said, "My dear sir, that I will also help you in your job." So Anantacharya said that, "No, I'm good. My Guru Maharaj has given us this service, so I will be very happy doing the service myself." This boy pleaded, but then Anantacharya wouldn't give in. So this boy left, and few minutes later he went and approached Anantacharya's wife. That, "My dear Mataji, you are pregnant, and it will be very tough for you to do this hard labor. Why don't you, share your service with me?" So this Mataji said, No, my husband would not allow that, and we are happy, we will manage." "No, that doesn't matter, I'll still help you. We will not tell your husband. Probably you just bring it from your husband to a distance where he can't see me, and from there I'll carry it from you and throw it away. After all, you are, pregnant, and you should take care of yourself." This boy was nicely preaching and somehow convinced Anantacharya's wife. So Anantacharya used to fill the pot after digging the place, and he used to give it to his wife, and she used to carry for a short distance, and from that point in, that small boy used to carry from her and used to empty them and bring back. So within few minutes, Anantacharya developed a doubt that how is it possible that previously she used to take more time to go and empty the pot, now she is coming pretty fast. So he got out and to find out how is she doing this. How come suddenly her speed got increased? Very, very fast she is able to do this. So when he got out, he saw that the small boy was trying to carry. So as soon as he saw, he got so angry. He said that I told you not to come in the way of my service that my Guru Maharaj has given. So why did you come and disturb me? So he started chasing that boy. So when he started chasing that boy, the boy also started running and running. The boy was running and Anantacharya was chasing him. And finally this boy ran inside the temple of Balaji. And when he ran inside the temple to, cover himself, he started running in an opposite direction, apradakshina. We generally do a circumambulation in clockwise direction. He started running in an anti-clockwise direction. And Anantacharya would still chase him. And because he couldn't catch him, he had this tool that he used to dig the ground. He threw at that boy, and that hit on his chin pretty badly on his forehead. So, and with bleeding, this boy ran and finally Anantacharya couldn't locate him. And when the altar was opened, they found Balaji was bleeding on his chin and was also on his forehead. And that's why if you see in Balaji, they apply butter. This white portion in Balaji's tilak is actually butter. They apply butter on his forehead and on his chins to cure the wound that was created by Anantacharya. Till today, annually there is a festival in Tirupati temple where on this particular day, they take the Lord in an apradakshina direction to commemorate this event of the wonderful transaction between the Lord and his devotees. Actually, this particular pastime is so interesting and so deep, wherein that Anantacharya is establishing a very important principle that how much every one of us need to be attached to our service, and that attachment will give us access to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because every day when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, what do we chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. O energy of the Lord, O all attractive, O all pleasing, please engage me in your service. This is the English version of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Suppose if you just tell this for 2 hours, O energy of the Lord, O all attractive, O all pleasing, please engage me in your service. O energy of the Lord, O all attractive, O all pleasing, please engage me in your service. 2 hours you say this. And if you say this very sincerely, what do you expect the Lord to do to you? Obviously. Because 2 hours you kept on asking him, he will obviously call you and, give some service. And as soon as you finish your chanting, you get a phone call. Mataji, there is a small service. Would you like to come to the temple? And nahi sahab, I thought busy hai, Ragad ke 2 ghanta apne jab kiya. 2 hours you kept on, pleading the Lord, please engage me in your service. And right after you finishing the chanting, when phone call came, what are we saying? Nahi, baad mein thoda busy hai. This is why we said the first principle is very important. How much we are attentive, how much we are attached, how much we are conscious. So the fourth test that we talking about is we need to be attached to our service. Every day when we do Tulasi prayer, what do we say? Seva adhikara diye koro nija dasi. Because seva adhikara diye means what? Please empower me to do devotional service. So when you get a service, it is not something just like that it came upon you. Or somebody recognized your skills. No. Somebody recognized your chanting. It's not your skills. You're chanting. Even if you don't have skills, the skills are provided. Because you asked for it. And Krishna, the more you chant, the more you plead, the more Krishna is available to you. Because Krishna is waiting for you to ask this. And when you asked it, Krishna will give it. Until you offend a Vaishnava, Krishna is not going to spare you. So Krishna has got a wonderful protocol. You tell Krishna once, only once, minimum, Krishna, I love you from the core of your heart. If possible, shedding one drop of tear. If you tell Krishna how much you love him, and for the rest of your life, you forget him. Don't do that, but I'm saying hypothetically. What will Krishna do? He will chase you. Because one day, at one time, you said, I love you. Probably you must have forgotten. Probably you are just carried away by something. Let me give some support system. So he kept on, he go on chasing you. How does he chase? He sends some devotees, he sends some service opportunities, he gives some challenges. Because during challenges we go to Krishna. Something or the other, he innovates some techniques to chase you. And he'll stop the chasing at one point in time. When you offend a Vaishnava. When you offend a Vaishnava, that's when he gets jittery. Oh my God, this guy is going beyond limits. So, for our Krishna consciousness, very simple technique is, somehow, you just tell Krishna how much you love him, and rest of your life, you don't offend your devotee, you will go to Krishna. It's all, this is as simple as it is. Seva adhikara dhiye. Suppose I take a broomstick or I take a cleaning machine and go on clean the streets of California. Will I be rewarded? Wow, what a nice social service. No. I am not an authorized person even to clean. For me to clean, I need to be authorized and empowered by the government. Otherwise, I will not be paid. I will not be recognized. Okay, somebody may feel, nice about us. But you will not be rewarded, you will not be paid, you will not be recognized unless you are empowered. Because to participate in the service of the Lord, you are supposed to be empowered. Service adhikar is with devotees of the Lord. So our transaction is not here this way, our transaction is this way. We go to Prabhupada to Krishna. So the fourth test is, we need to constantly check, am I attached to the service? One step before is, am I getting a service? If you are not even getting a service, nobody is calling you for a service, please go and beg for a service. Because to be in the service of the Lord is what Prabhupada wrote in the purport. What did he say? Is application of Krishna consciousness. You knowing God, you understanding God is nice. But you applying about the understanding of Krishna consciousness in your life puts you in a very nice place. So the fourth test is how much we are attached to our service. So it's very interesting that now we became enthusiastic and also got attached, but we have another situation. The fifth test. Whilst I am attached, whilst I am very much enthusiastic, how much I am cooperative with other devotees. It's like, I in Krishna, nobody else in this world. It's a big problem, right? No, I will do my service, Prabhu. Good, your service. But we are supposed to coexist. We are supposed to cooperatively function. There can be motivation, enthusiasm, inspirations from all the corners of the world, and you can have even some healthy competition, but not in an envious mode. In the spiritual world, all the gopis used to dress themselves and be ready to attract Krishna. All of them used to be very nicely decked up. So now Krishna is going to come, I am going to attract him. So when Krishna comes, he gets attracted to one particular gopi. What does others do? They don't get envious. They all go to that gopi and deck her up further nicely so that Krishna can get more attractive to that person. So the principle is how to satisfy the Lord rather than saying, how do I prove my point of doing the service? Please understand, these are all very subtle. In your normal execution of Krishna consciousness, you may tick them off saying that I am a devotee, you see I am doing service. I am a devotee, you see I am chanting. I am a devotee, you see I am enthusiastic. But you have to tick them up from an internalized way rather than external way. So the fifth test is how much we are cooperative. Cooperation amongst devotees and coexistingly executing Krishna consciousness is considered as a highly matured behavior amongst sadhus. If we are all together in front of Krishna, doing wonderful service, but we are not cooperative, we have a fundamentally big problem. Something in the previous 4 tests we have failed or we have just skipped. Choice mein chhod diya. So something radically wrong if you are not cooperative. Prabhupada has repeatedly said, we need to be cooperative when we are executing devotional service. And why do we not be cooperative? When we are greedy, when we are lusty, when we are envious, when we are egoistic. So you may still do service. You always want to be in the limelight, right? Suppose when there are four service opportunity, which one we will choose? That which will be when we are in limelight. We love ourselves beyond anybody else. You don't agree? Once, suppose we all go for a picnic. Suppose we plan a picnic. All of us in this room, we just go out on a picnic. And when we go out on a picnic, we take a lot of pictures about the picnic. And once we come back, the photo album is shared with everybody. When you flip through the photo album, what will we look for? Where do I stand? How do I stand? How do I look like? Mera baal kaisa hai? Mera naak kaisa hai? We start looking at it. How many times we would have seen ourselves? But every time when we are so much attached to us. So much attached to us. So we are very important. The purpose of doing this devotional service is to please the Lord, not to prove a point. If we get into proving the point zone, then it is lookalike Krishna consciousness. If you please the Lord, it is devotional service. If you chant to count, it's lookalike Krishna consciousness. If you chant to transform, it is pure devotional service. If you question to establish your identity here, this Prabhu is very intelligent, it is lookalike Krishna consciousness. If you question to get clarification, then it is actual devotional service. If your enthusiasm is shown to get very good claps, it's lookalike Krishna consciousness. If you are enthusiastic from within, it is actual Krishna consciousness. If you are having service attitude to go and get good names from your leader, that is lookalike Krishna consciousness. But if you are attached to service, even if nobody is there, I am trying to do the service for the Lord because it is Lord who is the center of my focus, then it is actual Krishna consciousness. Similarly, if I am not cooperative and I am interested in doing devotion service, I am trying to prove a point. If I am cooperative and trying to do a service, then I am interested in pleasing the Lord. A group of family members, they all visited mother's place to celebrate Mother's Day. In your country, in this country, Mother's Day is considered as a very, very, very special, much more than Janmashtami. So everybody go to meet mom's place. So all the family members, they made a big plan to celebrate Mother's Day. They've been planning for several weeks, and finally they all assembled in Mother's Day in Mother's house. Cousins, all the bhai bahan, sab log, everybody came there, and they made a plan that let us all go on a picnic. So we have 3 long weekends, so we'll all go out with mother and celebrate Mother's Day very nicely. So the next day morning, 6 o'clock, they were supposed to leave. They have hired a vehicle. So the vehicle came, and just then they realized that there's one place in the vehicle they are short of that. And had it been in India, we would have figured out a way to go in that vehicle. Because here we have licenses and liabilities. You have to stick on to the number of seats. So they counted, there are 12 seats and we are 13 people. What to do? And so after 1 year they all are meeting, so it's such an important moment. They all want to spend some time together. So nobody wants to stay back. Everybody wants to enjoy and nobody wants to stay back. Everybody is seeing each other's face. And finally, who stayed back? The mom stayed back at home to let everybody else go out on a picnic for a Mother's Day. So out of 13 seats, 12 people, mom stayed back and said, "Aap log jaiye." You go and come, because she saw everybody's face and nobody wants to miss the picnic. So everybody went on a picnic celebrating Mother's Day, leaving mom back at home. That is what it means. You do wonderful service without any cooperation. Who is the center of attraction? Focus? I, me. If you do cooperatively, Krishna. It's very, very important. It's so subtle. We may pat on our back saying that how sincere you were. That Prabhuji and that Mataji is not sincere. That is why, I'm not able to be cooperative with them. These are all nonsense. You still find out a way by which how we can be cooperative if you know Krishna is the focus. So this is the fifth test that we do upon ourselves, how much we have the spirit of cooperation. The last test, which is the result of all these things, is non-envious nature. How much enviousness within me have gone. The reason why I was not cooperative is because I had this virus within me. Why I was not being able to do service together with others, not able to appreciate the center of focus, Supreme Lord, is because of this envious nature. So long as we are envious, how much ever magic you do, nothing will happen. Because in this world, everything can be purified. Only one thing that cannot be purified, has to be given away, is envy. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can purify lust, you can purify greed, you can purify anger, you can purify everything. But you can't purify envy. Envy has to be washed away. So, this envy is not only towards other human beings. We are not supposed to be envious towards any living entity. And primarily we are here because we are envious towards Krishna. In the spiritual world, Krishna is the center, everything else in the surround him. In the material world, we are the center, everything else around him. So before coming in contact with Krishna consciousness, what do we think? I, me, mine. Then some devotees gave us books. We flipped through the pages of Bhagavad Gita. Then we started coming to ISKCON Silicon Valley and heard some Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam classes. Then we realized, yes, Krishna is very important. So what has become to our I, me, mine? Previously, I was thinking I, me, mine. Now I got improved to start thinking I, me, mine, and Krishna also. Right? We add Krishna. Krishna also. Previously I used to eat. Now I will eat, but I will offer to Krishna. It's not wrong. But what is the focus? Who is in the center? I am also in the center. I just added Krishna in the center. This is better than I only in the center. Previously I was only in the center and everything was around me. Now I brought Krishna also in the center. That is good enough. Because Krishna is smart enough to nudge you out. Because you brought him in the center, what will Krishna do slowly? The more you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, he'll slowly nudge you out. Jao. And one fine day you'll realize, you'll be talking about Krishna only. Today, we are in the stage of Krishna also. I buy car for me. And how will I use the car? I'll think if I put Krishna's picture, our car is purified. We'll do puja to the car. We'll do arati to the car. We think it is offered to Krishna. That's nice. It's okay. But what is the best way of utilizing the car? Only drive for Krishna's service. What is the best way of utilizing the house? Come and invite devotees and feed them. What is the best way of utilizing your friends? Bring them to Krishna consciousness. What is the best way of utilizing your profile? Money, beauty, followers, everything. If you bring in contact with Krishna, then it is the right way of utilizing in Krishna's service. Today, they are all done for our benefit, but we purify them, which is okay. Not bad, you are there. Prabhupada writes in this purport, gradual. But somewhere at gradual thing we should know that I am not supposed to be in the center. So we always encourage devotees, whilst you are making plan to acquire things, you also have a plan to renounce things. Especially Grihasthas, we go on acquiring a new house, a new car, a new furniture, a new gadget. Go on acquiring. When we will go on give away? Sir, baad mein dekhenge. In future we will see. The future will never come. Because in our young days, we have all the time, all the energy, but no money. When we are adult, we have money and energy, but no time. When we are old, we have time and money, but no energy. Balastavat krida shaktaha, tarunastavat taruni shaktaha, vriddhastavat chinta shaktaha, parame brahme kahopi shaktaha, bhajagovindam, govindam, bhaja mudamate, samprapte sannihite kale, nahi rakshati dukrinj harane. Shankaracharya is singing in Bhajagovindam. What does he say? Balastavat krida shaktaha. Our childhood days have gone in playing with kilona, playing with toys. Krida means just playing. Tarunastavat taruni shaktaha. When we are adults, when we are young men, women, getting attracted to opposite sex. Vriddhastavat chinta shaktaha. When you are an old man, you start thinking about the past. You know, my childhood days was like this. I never had this opportunity. I had this opportunity. I used to play. Whatever. Keep thinking about the past. Paro me brahme kahopi shaktaha. Then when will you think about, self-realization? So, the sixth test is, how can we be non-envious? This non-envious is not something that you can purify. It has to be washed away. It has to be burnt. And this can only be burnt if we do this previous 5 things nicely. And very, very carefully avoiding this propensity of being envious, then naturally this enviousness will be crushed. And if we are purified of this envious nature, so if you come back from backwards, you will naturally tend to be cooperative. And when you are cooperative and try to do some service of the Lord, you will naturally develop enthusiasm. And in this natural enthusiasm, you tend to be inquisitive to progress more in Krishna consciousness. And in that stage, you will be able to chant the holy name of the Lord very, very attentively and eventually make it to the spiritual world. So these are the 6 important self-tests that we put upon ourselves, that we have to conduct upon ourselves. How often depends upon how serious are we. But at least we should conduct them quite often than keeping it for once in blue moon. So it is so important that when we have taken up this process of Krishna consciousness, when we are in such a conducive surroundings, we should not lose this opportunity. We will not get any other better opportunity than this, any other better time than this, any other better age than this. So procrastination is foolishness. The opportunity is right in front of us, with us, and we have all support systems available. We cannot give any excuses, and that will be real foolishness of ourselves. So we humbly request all of you to please take up this Krishna consciousness program very seriously, not for any other reason, but because it's important for us to cross this mile. We have come to this stage by some Agyan Sukruti. We are sitting here speaking and talking and touching and feeling the spiritual aspects of Krishna consciousness because of some blessings. We need to transform these blessings to our favor and eventually make it to the Supreme Lord. If we don't make it to the Supreme Lord, we will be the most unfortunate. It's like I had a disease, I found a doctor and met the doctor. Doctor gave me a prescription. I went and bought the medicine. Medicine is in my hand. Just that I did not take it. So all this while, whatever we discussed is, we have medicine in our hand. We knew our disease. We also located the doctor. We also went and consulted him. He gave a prescription. Interestingly, we also bought the medicine. Medicine is just in front of us. We need to just gulp it. You just take the suggested dosage, then you will see Krishna within ourselves. We will be able to see Krishna in everything. And finally, we'll come to a stage of two things, Krishna and Krishnas. Everything belongs to Krishna, and I am supposed to serve the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantraj Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. If there are any questions or comments, we can discuss. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the class. Sorry for coming late, but I was listening online.
Okay.
By the time I was traveling here. I like the point about what you said about being attached to your service. A lot of times, like we experience, if someone is coming to ask that, can we have any service? And the first thing we think is, how can we delegate our service? Rather than thinking of new service that we can give. But this realization that one should be attached to the service, by giving the example on Anantacharya, helps us to meditate upon that. We should try to create a new service rather than try to think of how we can give our service. So thank you so much.
Very nice. Actually, if a Vaishnava is visiting your house, if you are getting a service opportunity, and if we are able to attentively chant, these three can be considered as a recognition and reward by the Supreme Lord to you. Because generally no Vaishnavas can come to our house if we are not eligible. A Vaishnava coming to our house is actually Krishna's endorsement, Krishna's recognition to your devotional service. That's why in Grahastha Ashram we are supposed to facilitate inviting devotees to our house. Because it is not so easy. You try and see. To invite devotees to our house, it may be very rare. It's very rarest opportunity to get devotees to your house, because devotees carry Krishna in their heart. So if at all you wanted to know, okay, I conducted tests, how will I know the results are nice or not? These are the results. If you get more service opportunity, definitely Krishna is rewarding you. If you get Vaishnavas visiting your house, that day, last Saturday when Indradva Maharaj Vyasa Puja was going on, Vaisheshika Prabhu made a very nice point. Like how before sun rises, the sun, in the early morning we get before we see the sun, we see sun's rays. So similarly, before we actually see Krishna, we get Krishna's Vaishnavas in our life, Krishna's devotees in our life. So it's a very nice reflection. So we all are very much fortunate to have Srila Prabhupada and wonderful Vaishnavas amongst us, and we need to latch on to them. Krishna is so close to us. How close Krishna is to us is as close as we are to Prabhupada. How much you consider yourself close to Prabhupada, that much Krishna is close. Because Krishna is just right within the heart of Prabhupada. So if Prabhupada gives his blessings to you, Krishna is with you. And how far is Krishna? He's too far away. It is like, in this wave, in this space, you have AT&T signal, you have T-Mobile signal, you have Star Network, CNN Network, so many things are there. But why are we not able to see that? Because we don't have an instrument that can tune to the frequency. So transmission channel is constantly on. For us to understand the signal, capture the signal, we need a receiver. So transmission is constantly on. Krishna is constantly, sometimes we will go and pray to God, oh Krishna, why can't you be merciful upon me? No, it's a wrong prayer. Krishna is constantly merciful. We didn't put the SIM card or our phone is broken. Just connect the SIM card and connect. You will get to connect right signal. You will be able to hear his message. So the recognition for our devotional service is you get more service and you get, it's like, we always jokingly say in the corporate world, if a marketing person finishes his target is always doubled. He's never patted on the back saying that if he has a target of finishing something in 6 months, if he finished in 3 months' time, he's not left to sit idle for the next 3 months. What does the company do? They double the target. They go on doubling the target. In Krishna's case also it's like that. If you do the service very nicely, Krishna will give you more service. And Krishna will give you more service. And Krishna will give you more service. And one day, Krishna will give himself to you. I'll tell you a nice story. There was a devotee called Kolovecha Sridhar. This Kolovecha Sridhar was serving Mahaprabhu from a very, very young age of Mahaprabhu. Very poor guy financially. Economically, he's not so rich. So, his everyday service was, he's a banana vendor. Every day before he go out to sell banana, he go and stop in Mahaprabhu's house, give him first set of bananas to them, and used to go further. One day Mahaprabhu called, "My dear Sridhar, I am so much pleased with your service. Please ask me what you want." So, if you are also in economically stranded situation like Sridhara, and if somebody like that Mahaprabhu and Krishna coming and ask you, "What do you want?" you would naturally get tempted to say, "Kuch to pooch lete hain, something you will ask, at least you will fix that material problem." But Sridhara said that, "My dear Mahaprabhu, I don't want anything." Actually, he said, "I don't want anything." Then Mahaprabhu persuaded second, "No, Sridhar, you should definitely ask something, I want to give you." So second time Kolovecha Sridhar said that, "No, my dear Mahaprabhu, I don't want anything." So the third time, Mahaprabhu kept on, "Hey, please ask me, I really want to give you something, man." If Krishna had pushed us like this, we would have definitely asked for it. Pooch hi lete the hum. So third time also Kolovecha Sridhar said, "No, my dear Mahaprabhu, I don't want anything." And fourth time he said, "Mahaprabhu, will you ask or not?" Kolovecha Sridhar said, "Yes, if you really insist me, I have only one request. Life after life, please bestow me with the benediction so that I can constantly give this banana that I am giving you every day with love and devotion." Mahaprabhu was stunned. What did Mahaprabhu do? He gave a tight hug to Kolovecha Sridhar and said, "From today I am yours." What happened? He did not wanted anything, and he got what? Krishna himself. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "From today onwards I am yours." And we knew this philosophically. But even though we knew this philosophically, whenever we make a prayer, Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim, we don't very loudly pray that. What if Krishna says Tathastu? We have fear. What if Krishna removes our money? What if Krishna The point is, we trust so much Krishna that we also want to have our own desires fulfilled. So we are still in Krishna also stage. So that's when we have to constantly be attached to Krishna, so that one day Krishna will become ours. Till that point in time, just go on being focused, enthusiastic, cooperative, non-envious, and attached to your chanting. Then Krishna will be yours very soon. Any other? Yeah, I had a question.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was very nice to hear, all these different tests, and it was good reflection, to internally think what's happening. So one question I had, Prabhu, was, you spoke about envy. Envy is the only thing which has to be burnt away or washed away, but the other anarthas go away as we practice. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Basically, we are by our constitutional position, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and by nature we are Sachidananda, the spark, spirit, soul. So when we were with Krishna, we never had this component called lust, greed, envy, ego, pride, illusion, all these things. So the reason why we are suffering this material world is the envy. We became envious of the Lord, and this envy did not allow us to stay in the spiritual world. So the envy, one virus, pollutes all the other behaviors. So what used to be love for Krishna became lust in this material world. What used to be greedy, or what do you say, enthusiasm to serve the Lord, became greed in this material world. So what used to be an identity as Krishna's servant became egoistic person in this material world. What used to be considered as a reality became illusion in this material world. You can read from 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Very nicely Krishna elaborates this. He explains the part of inverted banyan tree, where he's explaining that what is seen in this material world is a perverted reflection of what is happening in the spiritual world. So what I meant to say is that the root cause of all our suffering in this material world is that envy. If you remove that envy and continue to do all the other things that we just said, the lust in our heart will become love for Krishna. The ego in our heart will become, real identity for Krishna. The illusion in the heart will become, we'll get into reality. So what used to be our constitutional state will be reinstated just by removing this envy from ourselves. Removing envy is in itself an agenda, and that is why there are stages in Krishna consciousness, and we are in a stage called Anartha Nivritti, which is purifying of our contaminations. And when we are very sincere in purifying our contaminations, all the other vices, lust is purifiable, greed is purifiable, ego is purifiable, illusion will automatically go away, pride will automatically go away, and they all will become Krishna conscious, favorable qualities and in the right sense. So the Sutradhari, the culprit of all these vices begins from our envious nature towards the Lord and towards other living entities. So that's when I said that somehow or other, if you work towards envy towards everybody else, not only to our friends or neighbors or relatives or devotees, we are not supposed to be envious of anybody. And in sat, in connection with that, you also try to do all the other points that we just spoke. Then there is a hope that we will see this transformation happen within ourselves. Prabhupada, today morning in the Chaitanya Charitamrita class, I was just telling that Srila Prabhupada writes in the teachings of Lord Kapila, one of the purports, the practitioners of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada very nicely boasts, saying that you please see their face after they became devotees and before they became devotees. Those who are practicing Krishna consciousness nicely, their face change, their personality change, their looks change. They'll become very bright and happy. And once I did that, I went and flipped and see the picture of mine before coming to Krishna consciousness and after coming to Krishna consciousness. Yes, we could see a difference. The sense that because there is a change within, definitely there's a change outside as well. So this change within is what we are supposed to work on. And unfortunately, the corporate world and outside world constantly encourages to work on external things. If you see, every relationship is external. We have so many friends, but no real friends. We have so much of things in the outside world in terms of opulence, but we are really, really poor from within. So what is the culprit? Who is the culprit? The envy within our heart. And actually speaking, the reality is we are envious of Krishna. We may not agree with this statement, but if you very really go inside and see, we are very envious. Make sense? Any other questions or comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class. There are 2 points I like the most, like attached to the services and also being cooperative. and non-envious. So I had one question that sometimes it happens that you get two services at the same time. So how what is your practical advice, or how do we balance?
Okay, I'll give another dimension to this. Every service that we get is important, and Prabhupada mentions that over-committing to yourself without realizing what you can handle is also an offense. So this is a very subtle matter where you yourself know where to draw a line, where your limit exists. You cannot, that Prabhu, he's doing only 4 service. Why am I supposed to do 6 service? It's not the benchmark. It's very nicely explained in Ramayana when this bridge was being made. Squirrel was lifting a small pebbles, and Hanuman was lifting big rocks. So Hanuman started mocking this squirrel and said that, hey, what are you doing? How is this small pebbles going to help in this making of this bridge? Get lost, go sideways, harja. Go on the side, otherwise I might stamp upon you. So Lord Ram said that, what are you doing? According to his ability, according to his capacity, what he is doing is great. And according to your capacity, what you are doing is great. You guys cannot swap it. If you carry a pebble saying that, oh no, pebble is carrying is also nice, then you are not doing devotional service. Neither I will expect a squirrel to carry a rock. Actually, this is a very subtle point which as individuals we need to consciously rate upon ourselves. What is that I can do nicely in the right consciousness to the Supreme Lord? And you know what? This is not a big rocket science. Even if you do slightly less than what you're entitled to, Krishna is not going to, whip you apart. But the point is that if you do in the wrong attitude, then you will pollute yourselves, you pollute another person. So better to accept service that you can do nicely, that you can inspire others, and by that way you will be able to get 10 more people to do the service, rather than you take 10 service and do all the 10 of them in a terrible way and not inspire anyone to do Krishna consciousness. So the practical suggestion is that we all need to have self-evaluation on what is my capacity. So when the service comes, there are 3 considerations that we need to take. How much it is coming in the way of my minimum basic sadhana. Because sadhana itself is a service. We should not forget that. Number 2 is that how much I am going out of the comfort zone. Because sometimes we take service within the comfort zone. And because of we operating under the comfort zone, we may not be able to give the best to the Supreme Lord. And third is, am I giving the credit of this service to my spiritual master? Because even if you do the first 2 things, if you don't do the third thing, the purpose of doing the service is lost. So I do the service without affecting to my morning sadhana, and doing the service that I can handle enthusiastically in the right consciousness, and give the credit to all the service to the spiritual master. Prabhupada writes in 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, every practitioner of Krishna consciousness should understand the entire success of all they are achieving in spiritual life is because of the mercy of the spiritual master, and the credit should be given to them. If you see in terms of external success, what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj got in comparison to what Gaurikishora Das Babaji Maharaj did. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj did by far so many things, but he gives the credit to Gaurikishora Das Babaji Maharaj. I would like to recollect what Indradumna Maharaj said on the day of his Vyas Puja here. He gave this episode where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was addressing the big gathering. At the end of the gathering, at the end of the speech, he was pointing towards somebody, and he was folding his hands and about to glorify. There's a big crowd, 5,000, 10,000 people were there, but he could locate somebody at the end of the crowd at the back. And who was that? Gaurikishora Das Babaji Maharaj was there. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj started to appreciate him, Gaurikishora Das Babaji Maharaj left that place. So it is imperative that we need to learn. See, there are certain very, very subtle aspects of Krishna consciousness. If you miss them, then it will fall in the category of look-alike devotion than actual devotion. I was just telling in the beginning of the class, maybe you must have missed that. In Krishna consciousness, there are two creepers that grow in the heart. One creeper is Bhakti Lata Bij, another is look-alike Bhakti. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that look-alike Bhakti has to be uprooted. It is actually a weed, and that can be uprooted under the able guidance of a bona fide spiritual master and spiritual authority. Otherwise, on your own, you may think Bhakti as a weed, weed as Bhakti. Making sense? Thank you. Anything else? I think it's 8 o'clock. Yeah, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much. So regarding the service, I have a follow-up question is, like some people are attached and they don't give others at all that service or include them in that service, and some of them they really allow. So how much attached it should be that we should not allow? Is it a good thing or?
That's the reason I knew this, somebody would raise this question. That's the reason I gave this example of gopis when they were, interested in serving the Supreme Lord. Actually speaking, all the gopis, they took utmost risk of even losing their family life when they had to come to see Krishna. Because their husbands were not very favorable. Their in-laws were not very favorable. But they still wanted to see Krishna. So they used to do all their household work so nicely, take care of the children, do everything nicely. And used to come and very nicely, saj, daj ke, shringar karke, they used to come and wait for Krishna. Of course, Krishna used to play with everybody, but there are some leelas where Krishna used to go to only one particular gopi. All the other gopis would not be envious. Oh my God, we took so much risk to come over here to play with Krishna, and Krishna is going to somebody else. So the thumb rule, what is the important principle behind the service is to please the Lord. We need to make sure what is the purpose of our doing service is not to prove this point, is not to establish, oh, I got the service. Sometimes many people think that, I will grab the lotus feet of my spiritual master. You may be even scratching his leg. You don't realize that I have to grab his feet. There's nothing in his feet. In the sense that just by touching the feet with a consciousness that, I touched my spiritual master's feet is not the point. I'm touching the feet to realize I am his servant. So if you don't realize I am his servant and even go on grabbing his feet, what is the value? That's what I say. If you go and do a nice arati to Krishna thinking that, wow, very nice garland I made today, right? Very nice, beautiful. So there's no point. You don't see yourself in the service. So the principle of service is that Krishna should be pleased, and the purpose for which the service is done is taken care vis-a-vis your intention of I did the service to go and give a report. And very, very importantly that this is something the leaders of the movement or the yatra, the organizers, they need to take care to give service to people according to their psychophysical nature and according to what level and consciousness somebody is in. And this is a very tricky, tough, that's why we all respect the leaders, because it's a tough job. The more you go up in the ladder, the more it's very tough to manage, different consciousness levels amongst devotees. But the principle is that it is not how much quantum of service you did. Krishna is not interested in your mathematics. Krishna is not interested in arithmetics. Krishna is interested in your consciousness. Krishna is interested in seeing what mood you behold when you do this service. Even if you did limited service, Krishna will come there. So Krishna's criteria are not external. Krishna's criteria are internal. And this has been time and again, seen in various leelas. So when we are doing service, when you are assigning service, both the person who is doing it, both the person who is coming and asking for it should understand that we all collectively please the Lord. It is like a father who wants to see all the children very happily coexist and remain together, rather than fight for each other to prove their love for the father. That will not make the father very happy. It's okay. Okay, I think we should end here. It's 8:05. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Radha Madan Mohan Bhagavan ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. I could figure out the Alpati Vilas. Yes. How are you? Let me switch this off.